So this is week 4 of the raised bed gardens, and I've noticed something's been chewing on the leaves. So we're going to do some offense and some defense to stop the carnage in the garden. I'll show you what that's all about. I know what it is. I don't see one right now. Olympic slug has done that. But I have some dirty tricks for them slugs. Let me show you. So the first thing you're going to need is some old copper wire. This happens to be a piece that was left at a job site I was at. And I said, it's copper. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off all the coating down to the copper wire itself. And what that will do, you put that around your plant. Maybe it's in a flower pot or a wooden pot that you're growing it in. Staple it to the side. A slug, well, as soon as it touches that wire, the copper itself burns the slug and it won't go past, it'll actually leave. I'll show you how all that works. And then another thing you can do is get a plastic, and this just happens to be a Cool Whip, and put old beer in it. And you're going, what? There's no such thing as an old beer, is there? Well, if you've had a party, you might have some open ones. They could be a couple days old. That's all right. Go ahead and pour it in there. Put this down to dirt level, and within a day, this will be full of floating slugs. Try to say floating slugs 3 times. I know. And as I remember, I think I saw an unopened can of beer that, I don't know how old it is, but let's go take a look. And that's when I remembered seeing one in the boat I bought. Yep. I don't know how old that is. It's dented up. So we'll go ahead and use that today. So we've got our defense and our offense to take care of them slugs. So we've got our pieces of wire. They'd be going to recycle if I didn't need it for this project. And this is just old used copper that's honestly has been laying around a bit too long. Should have gone to recycle, but we're going to use it. We'll go ahead and get the plastic coating stripped off. There's a couple of ways to do that. By painstakingly pulling off about 6 inches at a time. Obviously I don't have real long pieces of copper to work with here, which is perfect. Some comes off easier than others. Or you can throw that in your burn barrel and burn it off. It is going to discolor the copper, but that's all right, it's still copper. So now that you have your copper stripped, and if it's long enough, you can add a couple of pieces to that if you have a bunch of short pieces just by winding it together. But I don't have anything in a flower pot, but you could put this in a flower pot around the edge of it, pulling it up where it gets tight at the top. If the slug is climbing up the side of the flower pot, as soon as he touches the copper, guaranteed he's heading back down. So to prove that's going to work, we'll go ahead and set it over the plant. So I've got a couple of them with copper set around, other ones don't. And we'll come back and see if any of those that had the copper around it get chewed on anymore or not. So a little ways away from the raised bed garden, right on the edge of the garden, we're going to put our tub of old beer, and I want that to be ground level. That way the slugs don't have to climb up the side of the bowl. That should do. We'll get that pressed in there. Get it as even as possible. It's all right if you get dirt in there. Slugs don't mind dirt. Go figure. And our old boat beer came with the boat, so no idea how old that is. And it still foams up. I guess that's a good thing. And we're going to let that go till tomorrow. And see how many slugs we catch. They'll all be floating, but they'll be happy floaters. So, what did we catch in our beer? Well, that's only been an hour. Already got one, but he's happy. And then make sure that gate is closing. And for the deer, we'll know if they've been there by hoof prints or the trail cam. Oh yeah, that'll tell me who's and what and where and when people or deer have been around. So there are signs. You see the shiny spot on that dirt? Slug crawled up to there, touched that copper, and decided this wasn't the place to be. But I'm out here looking for slugs, see if there's any that went past the copper, or the ones that aren't protected by copper, do they have any? We're looking, see what we can find. Well, I found these growing in the garden. I guess I should check the critter cam, see who's been here. So we'll put the chip in, find out who's on that critter cam. Get this thing turned on here. There we go. And the first video is dog running by, cats, dog again. Oh, there's a deer. Kathy!